You want a physical win, then understand this. Your body is the first territory you must conquer. Before money, before respect, before recognition, before you ever hope to lead or dominate in any arena, your first and forever opponent is you. Not the version of you that talks big online, not the version of you that makes fake promises at midnight after watching motivation videos. The real you, the lazy one, the one hitting snooze, the one eating garbage, the one skipping workouts, the one blaming genetics. That version of you is weak, and until you kill him, your life will never shift. You see, most people walk around in a cage they've built with their own hands. A soft, undisciplined body is not just a health risk, it's a reflection of mental defeat. You show me a man with a soft body, and I'll show you a man who's made peace with mediocrity. That's harsh, but it's true. The body is a scorecard. It exposes the truth. You can't fake training. You can't fake strength. You can't fake effort. It's all there in your posture, your energy, your eyes, your walk. Either you look like a man who's been at war with himself and won, or you look like a man who's been hiding from the fight. What most people don't understand is that discipline is physical first. Before you master your schedule, your bank account, your business, your emotions, you master your limbs. Wake up early, that's physical. Drag your body out of bed, cold shower, that's physical. Push through discomfort. Hit the gym, rain or shine, that's physical. Eat clean while everyone else is devouring trash, that's physical. Your habits shape your flesh. Your flesh reveals your standards. You don't get to hide behind words. You either show up or you don't. You either lift or you don't. You either endure the pain or you quit. That's why the body doesn't lie. Look at nature. Weakness dies. Only the strong thrive. There's no emotional appeal in the jungle. The lion isn't sitting around hoping someone tells him it's okay to be slow, fat, or lazy. He either hunts or he starves. The world respects power, and your physical presence is the first signal you send out to the world. If you walk into a room looking like you haven't taken care of yourself in years, no one takes you seriously. Not because people are cruel, but because deep down they know you've neglected your first responsibility, your own temple. When you start to chase a physical win, everything shifts. You don't just get stronger. You become sharper, you move with purpose, your senses wake up, your mind clears, your posture changes. You stop accepting disrespect because your training won't allow it. You won't let anyone walk over you because you don't even let yourself get away with weakness anymore. You become your own enforcer, and that identity bleeds into every part of your life. The man who pushes through 10 extra reps with shaking arms is the same man who will push through rejection, failure, betrayal, and pressure, because pain becomes fuel, not fear. A physical win is not about vanity, it's about mastery. It's about choosing suffering when everyone else chooses comfort. It's about taking control when the world tells you to give in. It's about leading your own body like a king commands his army. No compromise. No softness, no room for laziness. You wake up and you move. You feel tired and you still show up. You eat what fuels you, not what soothes you. You sleep to recover, not escape. Every choice either hardens your spirit or softens your edge. And once you start to see progress, you start to understand the power you've had all along. People love to talk about purpose. They love to ask big questions. Why am I here? What's my destiny? You want the truth. Start with your flesh. If you can't command your body, you don't deserve to command anything else. You don't deserve to talk about leadership or wealth or impact or legacy if you haven't even earned self-respect. And self-respect starts with the mirror, not the digital mirror of Instagram filters, but the real mirror, the one that reflects your true condition. No one else may see the war happening inside you, but your body reveals if you've been winning or losing that war. And deep down, you know, there's a reason high performers train religiously. It's not about the six-pack. It's about the mindset forged under tension, the mental clarity forged under sweat, the unshakable self-belief that only comes when you've bled for it. You want confidence, don't buy it, build it, earn it, stack it through pain, through sweat, through discipline, through early mornings and late nights, through skipped junk meals and pushed limits. Confidence is not a feeling, it's proof. And your body becomes that proof. You don't need validation when your reflection confirms you're not the man you used to be. You want a physical win, then understand it won't come from motivation, it comes from war. Internal war, the part of you that wants to relax has to be silenced by the part of you that wants to conquer. That internal battle is daily. Every day you must choose. Every day you must kill the version of you that's okay with being average. Every day you must punish weakness and reward effort. And you don't need an audience. The grind must happen in silence. No cameras, no cheers, just pain, repetition, and evolution. You don't rise when people see you. You rise when you outwork your former self. The men you respect, the ones who dominate, who walk into a room and change the energy, who speak and everyone listens. They didn't get that aura by chance. They earned it through reps, through resistance. Through choices made when no one was watching. Their power is physical first. It's built into their presence. It's trained into their bones. That's the win you need. You want people to respect you, then stop talking and start transforming. You want respect, then start with the body, earn your aura. Most people think their life sucks because of bad luck. No, their life sucks because they're undisciplined, and their undisciplined body is a symptom. You want better relationships, start with the body. You want more money, start with the body. You want mental clarity, higher energy, better performance, unstoppable focus. All of it begins with the body. You are given a vehicle, and most of you are treating it like a trash bin. You expect your mind to function at a high level while you stuff your body with poison and ignore movement. It's delusion. The body leads, the mind follows. Not the other way around. You want a better mindset, go lift something heavy. You want less anxiety, go sprint until your lungs burn. You want to stop doubting yourself, hit a training session so hard your doubts get drowned in discipline. This is not about being an athlete. This is about being a man. A man who moves with force, with certainty, with drive. That starts in the gym, in the sweat, in the pain. That starts when you feel like skipping the session but show up anyway. That starts when you do 5 more reps after your body says no, because the second voice, the voice that says yes when it hurts, that voice is the real you. A physical win is more than just strength. It's control. You reclaim your body from addiction, from laziness, from distraction. Every time you say no to sugar, no to sleep, pins no to comfort, you say yes to your power. You say yes to becoming someone people notice. Someone people listen to, someone people follow, and most importantly, someone you respect. That's the real prize, not likes, not attention, self-respect. You know when you've earned it. It walks with you. It's in your voice, it's in your eyes, it's in how you sit, how you breathe, how you carry yourself. You don't get that by chance, you build it. One brutal session at a time, one clean meal at a time. One early morning at a time. This is the cost of greatness. If you're not willing to suffer physically, don't talk about success. Don't talk about domination. Don't talk about legacy, because your first empire is your flesh. And until you rule it with iron discipline, you're just another weak man hoping life will go easy on him. Look around, really look. You think you're going to walk into this world and win with a weak body, with soft hands and even softer habits. You think the game of life is going to be kind to you because you're a nice guy with good intentions. It doesn't care. The world doesn't respond to hope. It responds to presence, to dominance, and that starts with how you train your flesh. You can't skip the physical and expect mental clarity. You can't ignore the body and expect to have the discipline to win in life. The body is the foundation. It's the blueprint. It's where the real battle begins. You ever see a man walk into a room and own it before he speaks? That's a man who's won the physical war. That's someone who's trained his body so consistently that it radiates through his posture, his stare, his walk. That's a man who's wrestled with fatigue, self, doubt, and pain, and came out on top. You don't get that by accident. You build it piece by piece, rep by rep, and most of those reps done alone in silence. In pain, in the dark mornings when the world is still asleep. That's where confidence is built, not in what you say, but in what you endure. The gym doesn't just build muscles, it builds mindset. That's what most people miss. The heavy weights don't just make you strong physically, they make you ruthless mentally, because the moment your body screams stop and your mind says keep going, you split from the average man. The average man taps out at discomfort. You don't. That's the difference, and that difference leaks into your work, your decisions, your habits. You start operating on a higher frequency, not because you read about motivation, but because you've earned the right to trust yourself. You've put yourself through hell and came out harder. Every man has two voices inside. The first voice is soft. It's the voice that tells you to take it easy, that you've done enough, that you deserve rest, that you can cheat just this once. That's the voice of your enemy. The second voice is the one that grows stronger every time you silence the first. It says no to weakness. It demands more. It doesn't negotiate. That voice is born in discipline, and discipline is born in training. You want to feed that second voice. You push through when it burns. You go to the gym when you don't feel like it. You stay focused when distractions scream your name. That's how that voice gets louder, and one day it becomes the only voice you hear. Let me tell you something people don't want to admit. Weak men are always anxious, always overthinking, always doubting. Not because they're broken, but because their lives are out of order, and the first order that's missing, physical discipline. When you look in the mirror and see a body shaped by laziness, that image poisons everything. It affects how you see yourself, how you interact with others, how you take action. You can't hide from it. Every shirt you wear, every glance in the mirror, every moment of fatigue reminds you that you're falling short. And that constant reminder breeds insecurity. Now flip that. Imagine waking up and seeing power, seeing control, seeing discipline in the mirror. Imagine walking around with the kind of energy that commands respect without saying a word. You don't just imagine that. You earn it. You earn it by choosing to train when most people choose to scroll. You earn it by pushing yourself when the average man gives up. You earn it by suffering with purpose. By becoming the kind of man who doesn't fear discomfort. He chases it because he knows that every ounce of discomfort is shaping him into someone rare, someone dangerous, someone unshakable. You think this is just about abs or looking good on the beach. It's deeper, way deeper. This is about building an identity that doesn't crumble under pressure. This is about showing up as a man whose actions back his words, who doesn't flinch when things get hard because he's made hard his home. You don't train just for aesthetics. You train for battle, for business, for heartbreak, for failure, for chaos, because life will throw punches, and when it does, your only shield is what you've built in silence. Your physical foundation is your anchor when everything else spins out of control. Most people live in reaction. Their energy depends on coffee. Their mood depends on dopamine. Their drive depends on validation. But when you're physically disciplined, you don't need external fuel. You're internally forged. That's the edge. That's the win. While others crumble at stress, you rise. While others panic under pressure, you breathe. While others seek escape, you attack. That's what physical discipline gives you, a level of readiness the average man will never touch. You become a man who doesn't flinch, a man who's been through his own version of war and emerged with focus, with edge, with fire in his veins. People talk about mental toughness like it's some mysterious skill. It's not. It's trained, and the best place to train it, physical resistance. You don't build resilience by reading about it. You build it under the bar. On the track, in the pain cave, you build it when your legs shake, when your lungs scream, when your muscles fail, and you keep going. Every session you conquer is another brick in your mental fortress. Until one day, when life throws hell your way, you're unfazed. Because you've lived through worse. You've chosen suffering voluntarily. So when life brings involuntary pain, you laugh. You're built for it. Discipline isn't something you have. It's something you do. Every single day. It's a choice. And that choice starts with the body. When you wake up and your body says sleep, you say move. When your stomach says junk, you say fuel. When your mind says skip today, you say try me. These are the battles that matter, not the dramatic ones, the small daily decisions, the quiet ones, the ones no one sees. That's where strength is built. That's where identity is forged. And that's where the physical win is earned. Not with applause, but with effort. Not in the spotlight, but in the grind. You want to build self-belief, train. You want to stop overthinking, train. You want to walk through life like you own it, train. Because nothing resets your mind like suffering by choice. The moment you start to breathe hard, sweat pouring, heart pounding, everything else fades, the lies, the drama, the fear, it all fades under resistance. The gym becomes your sanctuary, the battlefield where your demons get exposed and defeated. It's not about being better than others. It's about being better than who you were yesterday. Every drop of sweat is a message to your former self. I'm not him anymore. The man who trains consistently knows something the lazy man doesn't. He knows the taste of discipline. He knows the high that comes after pain. He knows the pride that comes not from words, but from actions, and that pride is priceless. You don't need to scream that you're strong when your very presence says it louder than words. You don't need to beg for respect when your body speaks it. You don't need to convince yourself you're worthy when you've earned your own respect through grit. The win is internal first, and that internal win becomes physical proof. You want to become a leader, then start by leading yourself. Your body should be the first domain where your commands are obeyed. If you can't even get your own body to follow your orders, how will you lead a business? A family, a mission, leadership starts in the mirror, and the mirror doesn't lie. Every skipped session, every bad meal, every time you chose comfort, it shows. And every time you conquered that voice of weakness. That shows too. That's your real resume, not what you post, not what you say, what you do, what you repeat, what you endure. You don't get there by waiting for motivation. You get there by building discipline into your DNA, by making training non-negotiable, by choosing to suffer when no one's forcing you. That's what makes you different. That's what makes you rare. The world is full of men who quit on themselves daily. You become a standout by simply showing up, consistently, violently, relentlessly. You become a standout by making the physical war your home turf. And once your body is forged in discipline, the rest of life becomes a playground. You move through the world with calm confidence because you've already defeated the hardest enemy, yourself. You don't need to be the biggest, the strongest, or the fastest. You just need to be the most disciplined. Because discipline beats talent. Discipline beats motivation. Discipline beats emotion. Every time, when your friends are sleeping in, you're grinding. When they're binging, you're lifting. When they're wasting time, you're stacking wins. Not because it's fun, but because you refuse to live like the average man. You've decided, and once that decision is made, the only thing left is action. Ruthless, repetitive action. The kind that makes people wonder what drives you. The kind that makes them respect you, even if they can't explain why. Because the man who trains when it's hard, who eats clean when no one's watching, who pushes when there's no reward, that man is unstoppable. That man becomes fire, not because he talks about being fire, but because he burns with intent. You want that edge, earn it. Stop looking for shortcuts. Stop waiting for the perfect plan. Start moving. Start suffering, start building. You already have what you need, your body, your mind, your will. Now put them to work. Put them through hell and come out sharpened. That's a physical win, and that win changes everything. The truth is, no one's coming to save you, not your parents, not your friends, not your government. The world doesn't hand out trophies for potential. It rewards proof, results, execution, and if you don't have those, you get nothing. That's the reality most people run from, but the ones who face it head on, the ones who stop waiting, stop hoping, and start working, those are the ones who win. And if you've already built your body, if you've already pushed your limits physically, the next level is how you apply that discipline to the rest of your life, because the physical win is only the beginning. Once you've proven to yourself that you can dominate your body, now it's time to dominate your world. You've got energy, you've got drive, you've got fire in your veins. But where are you pointing it? Too many men become beasts in the gym but stay sheep in life. That's not the goal. The gym is training. Real life is the arena. It's not enough to lift heavy if you're still broke. It's not enough to have abs if you're living paycheck to paycheck, stuck in a loop, talking big but acting small. You've built discipline, now apply it, build something with it, stack cash, build a business, create freedom, because real freedom doesn't come from flexing muscles. It comes from owning your time, your income, your decisions. You don't want to just look strong, you want to live strong, and that requires more than barbells. It requires strategy, it requires execution. Discipline is universal. The same mindset that got you in shape is the same one that can get you rich. You already know how to suffer, you already know how to sacrifice short-term pleasure for long-term gain. That's the secret. Most people haven't figured that out. They keep compartmentalizing their lives. Fitness here, money there, mind set somewhere else. It's all one system. If you've conquered one domain, you've got the tools to dominate the others. The same pain you embraced under the bar is the same pain you'll feel when you grind at your business while others party. The same fatigue you pushed through on the treadmill is the same fatigue you'll feel at 2 a.m. chasing your vision. The same hunger you controlled in your diet is the same hunger you'll need to control your spending. The patterns are the same, the battlefield changes, but the warrior stays consistent. Let's talk about control, because that's what this is really about. Control over your emotions, your time, your money, your environment. The average man is out of control. He reacts, he scrolls, he consumes, he obeys impulses. He can't even say no to a don. How's he going to say no to a bad deal, a toxic woman, a time-wasting habit? He can't. That's why his life is chaos. You don't want chaos. You want precision, focus, power that starts by transferring the discipline of the gym into every corner of your life. You wake up early not because it's trendy, but because it sets the tone. You don't touch your phone until you've moved your body and planned your day. You eat clean because it fuels execution. You attack your day with intent, not laziness. That's the life of someone who's not just physically strong, but completely in control. Most people live in noise. They let distractions own their mind. They let opinions control their decisions. They let fear keep them from taking action. Not you. You've already silenced the noise in the gym. You know what it means to focus, to isolate, to block out the world and lock in on a goal. Take that same focus and aim it at your purpose. Figure out what you're building, because if you're not building something, you're just surviving. You're drifting, and drifters get swallowed by the system. You need a mission, a reason to wake up and grind that goes beyond aesthetics. A vision so strong it makes excuses look pathetic. You've already learned how to move your body with precision. Now move your life with purpose. Look around. 99% of people are followers. They wait for instructions. They do just enough to survive. They avoid responsibility. They fear failure, and that's why they lose. You want to be part of the 1%. You act like it. You take ownership. You stop blaming. You stop whining. You stop waiting for permission. You give yourself permission to win. You become the kind of man who moves with authority, who leads from the front, who earns respect without demanding it. That doesn't come from genetics. It comes from habits, from lifestyle, from consistent, disciplined action. The man who wins physically, financially, and mentally is the man who's mastered his daily behavior. He doesn't just train for an hour. He trains all day. Every decision is a rep. Every task is a set. Every hour is a workout. That's the mindset that separates the elite from the average. You're either building your empire or you're building someone else's. That's it. There's no middle ground. You're either the boss of your life or you're a pawn in someone else's game. And the difference, discipline, the ability to wake up and choose progress over pleasure. The ability to show up every day with the same intensity whether you feel like it or not. The ability to focus on your mission while the world begs you to waste your time. The physical win taught you how to suffer. Now you use that suffering as fuel to build something that lasts, something no one can take from you because muscles fade, but the habits, the discipline, the mindset, they stay, they're transferable. They're your foundation. Most people are motivated by fear. Fear of being broke, fear of being alone, fear of being judged. That's weak. You should be driven by vision, by legacy, by the hunger to become a savage in every domain of life. That's what separates winners. The man who lives in fear stays safe, stays average, dies forgettable. The man who lives with purpose takes risks, builds power, dies a legend. And legends don't just lift weights. They build, they create, they impact, they lead. You want to become that man, then take the discipline you've built and multiply it. Apply it to your money, to your network, to your relationships, to your business. Use it as the operating system of your life. This world doesn't care about your comfort. It rewards those who produce. And you can't produce anything of value if you're distracted, undisciplined, and unfocused. You've already done the hard part. You've shown yourself that you can suffer and survive. Now comes the smart part. Now comes the planning, the building, the executing. You take that edge and you sharpen it daily. You read while others scroll, you invest while others spend, you build assets while others chase dopamine, you move like a man with a mission because that's what you are now, no more someday, no more when I'm ready, you're ready now. Because you've already proven that you don't fold under pressure, you don't run from pain, you don't need motivation, you've got momentum, winning isn't complicated, it's not about hacks or secrets, it's about consistency. About choosing the hard path every single day until it becomes who you are, and the hardest part, most of it's invisible. No one sees the hours you put in. No one applauds when you choose work over rest. No one claps when you skip the party to focus on your mission. That's why most people quit, because they crave validation. You don't. You crave results. You don't need a cheerleader. You need progress. You don't need applause, you need action. The real win is private. It's the life you live when no one's watching. That's the win that matters. That's the win that lasts. You've suffered. You've trained. You've disciplined yourself physically. Now carry that energy into every corner of your life like a wrecking ball. Smash every excuse. Destroy every limitation. Build something worth dying for. Don't settle for looking strong. Life strong, move with intent, speak with purpose, act with precision, and never, never go back to the soft version of yourself. That man is dead. That man was weak. That man got replaced by a savage who doesn't make excuses, who doesn't need permission, who doesn't lose control. That's you now, and the world is going to feel it. There is no balance. There's domination or submission. Which side are you on? There is no just enough. There's excellence or average. Which one are you living? There is no try. There's win or lose. Which are you choosing? You already won the first war. Your body. Now win the final war. Your life. Win it with action. Win it with vision. Win it with the same fire that pushed you through every rep, every early morning, every meal, every doubt. Let that fire consume your excuses. Let that fire build your empire. You are no longer just a man who trains. You are a man who conquers. Let the world feel your presence before you speak. Let them see the proof in how you move, how you build, how you win. Every single day, so now you've got the blueprint. You've built the body, sharpened the mind, and ignited the spirit, but none of it matters if you don't execute. The world respects action. It fears the man who doesn't flinch, who doesn't fold, who shows up every single day with fire in his eyes and purpose in his soul. You are that man now, not because you said it, but because you proved it. You've mastered your physical self. Now dominate your environment, build your empire, and leave no part of your life untouched by greatness. No more hesitation, no more waiting. The war is now, and victory belongs to the relentless.